Um, Hi. So I just wanted to ask, what do you think about melancholy?
Melancholy.
Or yeah, yeah, or
Can you define melancholy? Melancholy.
I think a kind of a sadness that may not necessarily be sweet, but at the same time, perhaps may not be steeped in suffering, right? Like a kind of I don't know, like it kind of feels like a sadness of the body or something. I don't know, like
Well,
uh,
sadness is part of our experience. We experience sadness. We may lose a dear friend, or lose a parent, or lose a pet. We had wonderful times together. There were happy moments, and we got used to whenever we call them, they answer the phone, or whenever we put the food in the bowl, the cat or the dog comes meowing, or you know, waving his tail, and it's no longer there. So there is sadness. We experience sadness. Uh, it's a you can call it a sensation or a human experience, like we experience hunger and satisfaction when we are eating. We enjoy eating, and we experience a certain satiation, a certain uh, pleasure in eating. It's a human experience. What is there to say about it? What's troubling you about melancholy?
um I don't know. It was just because I think I experienced some melancholy today, right? And I had a great time, like during the day, or at least in the evening, and then after, like I had some dinner with friends and stuff, and then afterwards I felt some melancholy, and I wasn't sure if it was like if it was just natural or if it was coming from like a some sort of separation or something.
Hmm.
That's why I was asking, but I think you clarified it for me. Like yeah. Um,
I mean, we get together with friends. We enjoy uh, being together, and then we leave our friends, and we miss being with them, enjoying them, and being like children together. We miss that, but it's a natural thing because we are children anyways. Even when we leave our friends, we're still the same children. We're still the same child. We say we're still the same child. They're still the same children. You see, we are all the same innocence. We are all the same beauty, the same love. And it's normal to recollect, it appears to you, the times you spent together, the laughter, the conversations, and not to make a big deal out of it. It's not a big deal. It's okay. We see each other again. And we recollect each other, and we can always call each other or email each other. It's okay. We're never apart. We are never apart as consciousness, as a reality, as what we are, you see. And these human dynamics, they're okay. It's not a big deal. Just don't assume yourself or believe yourself or conceive yourself in any way. Don't. Remain unconceived, unknowing, undefined. So it's an exploration of what that means. What does it mean to be undefined in this moment? It's always this moment, right? It's always this moment. Right? I am. I don't know what I am. Beautiful, perfect. Perfect. Allow amness to reveal itself to you in its own time, in its own way. You don't need to build a corral, and say, okay, this is where amness is going to appear, or this is how it's going to appear. Right? And don't make an issue out of sensations that appear to you or thoughts that appear to you. Allow them to arise as they arise, whichever way they arise, from wherever they arise. Keep your windows and doors open. They are already open. Don't close them. Don't go looking for windows and doors to close them, to say, okay, it shouldn't be this way. It should be that way. I shouldn't feel this. He shouldn't say that. This shouldn't happen this way. What's going to happen to me tomorrow? Why this morning I was like this and now I'm like that? All of these are wasteful ways of investing your time in living.
Thank you.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was going to say you're a beautiful person, and a lot of people who love you.
Oh, thank you.
They haven't discovered you yet they will.
Thank you. Well, you're beautiful too. And then you did a Facebook post where there was like there was some scenery and there was a reflection of the trees. There was like a river, and there was a reflection of the trees in the river.
Yes.
And you wrote that, and I don't remember exactly what you wrote, but it was something like the world is a reflection of the absolute. Or you wrote some, and I didn't understand that, and I was wondering if you remembered, if you could clarify what that meant.
Exactly, but I can speak about the world, because the world appears to us. It appears to us as perceptions, and the body appears to us as sensations. The mind appears to us as thoughts, and it's like you look over a lake and there are scintillations. It's the sun that's you perceive the sun on the little wavelets on top of the pond. It's a reflection. These scintillations are the reflections of the sun. Similarly, you look at the moon, you see the moonlight at night. But this moonlight is a reflection of the sunlight. There is no moonlight as such, it's the sunlight. So as a metaphor, the world that you perceive is a reflection of reality. Reality as a metaphor, we say the sunlight, or as consciousness, the reflection of consciousness. But it's not like there is a mirror somewhere out there and consciousness is sending its rays of consciousness that are shining onto the mirror. No. Because consciousness is the only reality. There's only one reality. So the world is a reflection or a scintillation of consciousness from consciousness to consciousness, because there's only one perceiver, one reality, which is consciousness, which is perceiving. So the world which appears to you is your own creation and your own perception. not your own creation, your own perception as Ali, but your own creation and perception as the reality which perceives, which is the reality of consciousness, which is your reality. Now, to put it in another way, as you are perceiving, you look over the lake, you see a beautiful scenery. You are perceiving your perception. And where is your perception? It's not out there somewhere, right? Your perception is intimate with you, the reality which perceives. That's your actual experience, although there may be a thought that arises that says, oh, beautiful lake out there, and me here. I am here and the lake is out there, and I'm perceiving the lake out there. Although this thought may appear, you don't need to believe that thought, because the thought is an appearance. The thought does not know. An appearance doesn't know anything, right? It's just an appearance. It's something. I'm not trying to diminish the thought. I mean, the thought is what it is. What I'm saying is that the thought is not going to be providing information about where you are and where the lake is. The thought appears within you as consciousness, within awareness. It's not going to provide you any information about what you are or where you are. It's not going to give you information about where the lake is and where you are. Right? No perception knows anything about you or about another perception. Perception A doesn't know anything but perception B. Perception doesn't know anything about a thought, or a sensation doesn't know anything about a perception or about a thought. The only thing that knows anything about you is you. And if you are sober about your understanding, you can only come to the conclusion that I know I am, and I know I am. And I know that I know, if you want to complicate it. I know that I am, and I know that I know that I am. What am I? That you don't know. And yet, you know. How can I say, and yet you know? It's very simple. Because in order for you to be certain that I am, you cannot make the statement, I am, without knowing what you are. It's not possible. You must know what you are in order to say, I am. Otherwise, what are you talking about? Right? Otherwise, I don't know what you're talking about. To say that I am, you must know what you are. It may seem contradictory. Wait a minute. From one end of your mouth, you're saying, I am, and I don't know what I am. And now from the other side of your mouth, you're saying, I am, and yet I know what I am. But there is an important distinction, which is that I am, whatever that is, but I don't know what I am phenomenally. I don't know that I am, a woman, a man, and a creature from planet Xenon, whatever. I don't know what I am phenomenally. But I do know what I am nominally. Why? Just because I know I am. knowing that I am means I know what I am nominally.
Okay. And so other than the two things that you said, I am and I know that I am, other than those two things, we can't really know anything else for certain, right?
Absolutely. There are a lot of things we may know. For example, my keys, are in the drawer. My car is in the garage. But with absolute certainty, the absolute certainty is only pertaining to I know that I am. And in time, I know that I am nothing and everything. I know that I am the one reality, which is not a thing, and yet nothing is without my reality. That certainty also has to be absolute. It will take some time for this certainty to be absolute, but it's inevitable that in time this certainty will be absolute. And by your continued interest in truth, the certainty of the universality of consciousness will be sooner rather than later.